Hi folks, preparation is key. When we prepare well for the first and subsequent lessons, we'll be more confident in conducting our lessons and we can create a positive learning environment for our students, and that will make sure that the students will be able to progress in a shorter time frame. So in this video, we'll be talking about how do we plan our lessons. What about you, tutors? How do you plan your lessons? Please feel free to comment in the comment section box below, and let's begin. So the first point that we need to consider and when we are trying to prepare for our lesson is to establish our goal. What is the goal for the lesson? Each child is different, they have different learning ability, so we need to determine how much to cover for the subject of the lesson, and how are we going to explain complex terms or concepts to the students. So here at the same time we need to, it could be our goal is to just help a student to be able to focus. They may have problem focusing, so probably our goal for that lesson is to help the student to focus for 50 or 80% of the time. It is important when we are trying to establish the goal is to make sure that we set something that is realistic. So if we have too high of an expectation, we may create an undue pressure on ourselves. So that is the first thing. The second point is to prepare our lesson material. So if we prepare our lesson material well, then we'll be able to be confident in helping the student. How do we do that? The first way is to get workbooks from bookstores. So I would recommend to get at least 2 workbooks for each topic or each subject, just to make sure that we have enough materials to help the student, and just to have a bit of a variety, because sometimes a student may be bored with one book or workbook. We may need to use another booklet, and we can research on the internet on the topic that we are going to conduct. So that can help us to have a thorough understanding of the subject and to help the student accordingly. And some of us may want to download some worksheets from the internet in order to help the student. We have to make sure that we have enough materials to help them. We want to be in a situation where we have around 50 or 20 minutes of lesson time, and then we already finish all the materials that we have brought for that day. So just to make sure we have sufficient material to cover for each lesson. The third point is for us to help to prepare for the lesson is to mark the homework the week before. So as we are marking the homework, there will be some mistakes or corrections on the part of the student. So we can try to decide how we can explain in a simple manner for the students to understand when they make a mistake, when they did their homework the week before. So especially with math, it's important for us to gauge the formulas well. When we know very well on which formulas to apply for each topic, then we are in a better position to explain to a student in a more clear and understandable way. In terms of biology, it is a memory-based subject, so with that it will be good to use mind maps. That can really be a good memory aid to assist the students to remember, hopefully remember the topic that we are trying to help them. The fourth point, we can try to prepare some questions, because when we have good questions prepared in advance, we can help the student to understand, we can confirm their comprehension on the subject. So it is good that we don't rush the explanations because that will not be too good on the student, but we can try to be calm and try to explain clearly and allow the time for the student to respond. Each student is different. Some of them need a bit of time to respond, and then when we hear their response, we'll be able to know how much they understand, or we may need to use subsequent questions to prompt them to get the right answer. So the fifth point to plan our lessons well is to summarize and review the lesson for the day, so that at the end of the day, after when we conduct our lesson, we can just simply summarize and review what they have learned, and that is a good memory aid, and hopefully that will help them to remember what they have learned. The sixth point is that we need to be flexible. Although we have prepared well for the lesson, but with student behavior, it might change day to day. Sometimes they are just too tired, they are not in the mood, so we may not be able to carry out the lesson as expected. So we need to be flexible. Sometimes we may need to just cheer them up. They may not be in the mood, have a good laugh with them, or maybe play a bit of a game. And because at the end of the day, we are trying to create a good positive work environment with them, and we are trying to have a good working relationship for them in the long term. So when we try to continue to encourage them at their level, sometimes they are in the mood, sometimes they are not in the mood, then we'll be able to help them the best way we can. So hopefully this video has benefited you, and please subscribe if you have not done so, and see you in the next video.